You have been keeping in regular contact with your team member whose sickness absence has become prolonged. There will be milestones in the management of the employee's medical condition or their absence that will be good opportunities to meet with the employee more formally to manage the situation. The time for these milestone meetings will be points such as when fit notes are due to expire, after the employee's appointments with their consultant, before sick pay, company or statutory, is due to end or reduce, and, if you have it, once you have received a report from your occupational health service. Also, if there are any particular points or intervals set out in your policy. Compared to catch-ups, these meetings are likely to feel more formal. Typically, they will take place face-to-face, so this could involve visiting the employee's home or meeting in a neutral environment such as the lobby of a hotel local to the employee. Because of this, you would arrange this meeting in writing and set the agenda in advance. What you will want to discuss at each meeting will largely depend on the milestone you have reached. But at each meeting, make sure you look backwards to recap on the absence so far and explain how their absence from their role is being managed and the impact their absence is having on the organisation. And look forwards to identify whether there are any changes, often called adjustments to the employee's role or way of working, that will support them to return to work. Medical conditions will often take a time to settle. For example, if the condition causing the absence is newly diagnosed or is a result of an injury, this is after recuperation from the initial treatment and any ongoing medication or therapy has become a stable routine. Or if the condition is something the employee has been managing for some time, settled means once the initial investigation into the cause of the change that created the absence has been completed and the new normal has been determined. Settled state does not mean getting better necessarily, nor does it mean no more ups and downs and nothing on the longer-term horizon. It is looking for clarity in an understanding of the likely future picture. The first few milestone meetings are likely to be focusing on understanding when you and the employee might be able to get that picture. That does not mean to say you should not be looking at possible adjustments to arrangements at work. Make it a matter of routine to consider options at each meeting. But once it seems that the condition has got to a settled state, the focus of the milestone meetings should be on what can be done to facilitate the employee's return to work. Medical information will be key on both of these points, but remember that the person who knows the most about how their medical condition affects their ability to do their work is the employee. Encourage broad thinking from both of you in terms of options for the return to work. To do this, make sure medical advice is always up to date and is focused on an understanding of what could be done to support the employee to return. Sometimes the employee's support networks, such as charities or carers, can provide invaluable information. To get the best quality information, medical professionals are likely to need a thorough explanation of what the work entails. HR will be able to help you to construct your request for medical advice to get the best out of the report. The employee's input on what they anticipate will be the challenging aspects will be key. This information will give you targets to aim adjustments at. Perhaps fatigue is anticipated to be an issue. If so, look at shorter hours or changes to shifts. Prolonged sitting a concern? Consider different equipment. Is it a specific element of the role that is impacted? If so, consider reallocating some of the duties. Don't let the costs of an adjustment put you off without exploring in more depth. It may still be reasonable to implement such an adjustment, and there may well be external funding available. Again, HR can help you with that. Once you have considered adjusting the existing job, consider the options for different jobs. Get hold of the global vacancy list as your source material. Avoid assumptions that an employee won't want to move departments or locations. Let them consider all the options. In summary then, at each milestone meeting, you will be covering looking backwards. What has changed since the last meeting? What did we say we would do at the last meeting? Have we done it? Looking forwards. Do we need to refresh the medical information? Is the medical condition settled? What might return to work look like? What further information do we need to assess the options for return? Think about involving HR to help you to review the last meeting and plan for the next one. From time to time, there are cases when the illness or injury means return to work is unlikely in a reasonable time frame, despite adjustments to the employee's job or a move to an alternative role. The milestone meetings will highlight if this situation appears to be emerging. If so, then it will be necessary to consider whether to bring the employee's employment to an end due to their incapability to fulfill their role. The milestone meetings you have been having will help you manage that decision with dignity. They will ensure alternative courses of action have been ruled out collaboratively. There are 3 courses specifically on this. 1, to decide whether you are at the point of considering it. A second on inviting the employee to the meeting. The third covers planning and managing the meeting itself. If it's a situation you feel you might need to manage, take some time out to let them guide your preparation. Thanks for watching.